We got a good group here. Guys, I'm super excited about this. We're launching a ton of updates over the next, I would say 4 to 8 weeks. And, we want to, we're doing a lot of back end changes that are going to push us into an innovation machine again, which I'm really pumped about. So this is my favorite, this is my favorite call, honestly, of the day.
Mhm.
And it's pretty much everything that we're working on. Grab your coffee if you haven't. I'm gonna be talking really fast. This is your time though. Val's gonna cut me off whenever she can and make sure that first of all, the people on this group, like we have some massive brands on this group. Like I can learn from all of you. And so this is an amazing group. We got Overdrive on here. We got Ryobi on here, shout outs. So this is a powerhouse marketing group. And so definitely share who you are. It could be a networking event. Definitely ask questions. And then we have time for that too. And Val's gonna make sure I stick on time. But Val, anything you want to do before we dive in?
No, we have more slides than minutes, so let's go.
All right, let's do it. And thank you guys for coming. Again, this is my favorite call. I have a ton to share with you guys. A high level, we've launched a ton of stuff. I have some slideware. I'm going to go into the product as well and kind of show you it. If you haven't noticed in the last like four to 6 weeks, you've seen a lot of UI updates. So about 9 months ago, we decided that we're going to really become a UX machine here and improve how to use the product as well. We have a lot of power and flexibility and functionality. Now we just got to get people to easier to use. So one thing we launched right away was a better version of our right when you log in, when you see your boxes, what do you see? So now what you see is a preview. And by the way, you can click each one of these and it turns into a hosted preview as well. So what's cool, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, but you could take that link and send it to your boss or your team, and you could test it out in a hosted preview link. So that's this update is actually like 20 updates. One, you can actually visualize it, you could preview it. If you have Google Analytics authenticated, so if you go into your account and you have Google Analytics authenticated, we actually will show you the revenue for that campaign, the attributed revenue. And that's a 24-hour window. So that means if they do the pop-up and then they wait like, 2 days, we're not going to attribute that. So it has to be a 24-hour window. So it's pretty aggressive, which is pretty cool. One thing we also realized was that people are not leveraging our A/B testing enough. And so we wanted to make that more prominent. So we created a create button. And what it can do, it automatically duplicates the creative. And then you can easily go into experiments and A/B test things. And remember, it's not just A/B testing, it's multivariate testing. So you can do like A to B to C. A experiment only sees 10% of the traffic. So you can actually even control the traffic levels. And then if you have Google Analytics authenticated, we actually show you the revenue as well. It's not just submissions, it's more than that. And because it's through GA, we actually will it's all data that's already in your GA account. It's not our data, it's just correlating our clicks to your GA conversions, which is pretty powerful. So this is a massive update. Some other little things here that most people don't know about is you can reorder these boxes. So you can click here and reorder them. So if you're not reordering things, and then we have a menu here that can, archive it, duplicate it, clone the box. So there's a lot of things here. So we're really excited about this and just setting this like new foundation. And now we're going to apply these same principles to the box editor. So that's coming soon. We launched a few updates on the accordion. So when you're in the actual box editor, so I'll create this right here. And so when you're in the box editor, you can move these pages. You can click here and move these pages around. You can easily delete a step as well. And we also just made it we made it faster. So our goal over the next few months is to make everything faster, loading on your site faster, and making campaigns faster and loading the editor faster. So we have these like chevrons, for example, so you can easily like open in and out. It automatically opens that, stays on the page as well. So that's another kind of exciting thing that we launched. And we have a lot of updates that are rolling around the editor as well, which we're pumped about. Uh, Here's some other things. We're trying to hide our advanced stuff. So if you're not using a feature, we're going to hide it. So like in this example, if you use an image, we're going to show you the image options. If you use a gradient, we're going to show the gradient options. And so instead of showing you everything, when you walk into a house and you see the entire house, we're going to try to we're gonna try to put things in the cupboards is what we're trying to do here. So there's a lot more advanced toggles coming soon. This is a step in that direction as well, just to make things easier to use for first timers, earlier marketers, which we're excited about. In the effort of making things faster and easier to use, we wanted to eliminate 50% of clicks. So before, when you're like navigating around, you had to click on it and then do it. Now we just have hover states, so you can easily come in here, just hover over it. You don't have to click on it, and you can see things. So this is another thing. So we're hoping that this reduces the number of clicks you have to take by 50% as well. So you can just hover over it and then click on something and get you there as well.
It's funny, Rishi, Shopify just did their updates and they said this was their boring edition. And sometimes I feel like this is our boring edition. Like we're doing all these things that are, there's little changes that make a huge impact in kind of the everyday operation of Digio and using Digio. But we're not like, we didn't launch brand new features. We don't have a whole new thing. Like it's just, this is the, and quite honestly, like the boring stuff is the good stuff. That's the stuff that makes it even better for everybody.
Yeah, it's funny. We had a customer about 2 years ago, and they're like, "Here's the things I need," and the number one thing they wanted was single sign-on. Very boring, very much needed. And we launched that for them. So, yeah, I love that stuff. Role-based permissions, all the boring stuff is the fun stuff that we like to do. Our
Yeah,
North
tell us
Star.
your boring thing you want in the chat. If you have a boring thing that you're waiting for Digio to build, please put it in the chat so we can build our as many boring things as possible.
Yeah. This is another boring one. I actually don't think it's boring. I think this is exciting. So, hosted preview links, I kind of talked about it a little bit. There's a lot of updates here. So, if you go in here and click on preview on blank site, you will get a hosted preview link now. And you could take this hosted preview link and you could send it to anyone. So, there's a few ways that we've applied this. One is you can use this now. And before, what you had to do is you had to like add a condition, get it on your site, and then send this like condition URL to the team. Now you can just say, hey, here's our creative. And so whether you have a quiz or a pop-up, a multi-step form, a funnel, doesn't matter what it is, you could send this link now to anyone. And they can kind of experiment with it. The other cool thing about this hosted preview link is that you can click here and you can see what's going on. So you can see, hey, is it firing to GA? Is that working correctly? If you're using our identification or if you're using our personalization with Klaviyo Iterable, you can see what's happening in our diagnostics tool as well. So this is kind of cool as well. So definitely use this. The other interesting thing here is if you go to all of our themes, if you go to all of our themes, which I highly recommend you do, Nick and our design team, they're constantly launching new themes. They're taking inspiration from you guys too. So if you guys have, hey, I want this theme, we're going to use it a lot, please send us those ideas as well. But every single one of these themes has a preview button. So like one thing I like to do with our team is like, hey, here are like 20 ideas. So if you have Digio, you can actually come into our themes, hit a bunch of previews and say, hey, here's 20 ideas that Digio just launched. Which ones do we want to launch with you guys? And so like one I would definitely check out is our preview on the spin to win, which I'll be talking about. So there's a lot of cool, exciting things around hosted preview links. It is a preview of what's to come next year too, which is around more landing page functionality as well within Digio. But definitely check out the preview on our themes. Also, our themes got a massive upgrade, massive upgrade. So there's a few things. One is we have a ton of new categories. We're also actually removing some categories and categorizing more. We're adding a lot more themes as well. So there's a lot of things. So if you're struggling for conversion ideas, definitely check this out. Here's another one that we just launched. If you're on Shopify specifically, we can actually read your recommendations and display a sidebar. So we can read the cart value, read what's happening on the site, and kind of swing in from the side. We can say, hey, we also recommend this product. So definitely check this one out. We're making a lot more updates to this one, which is exciting. It is for Shopify only at this time. So I just want to highlight that as well. Oh, Andrew, boring stuff. List launch dates on box preview. That's a great idea. I did want to
Mhm.
highlight that there's a few things that are happening. One, we also launched as part of this is like when it was published, if there was draft, if the draft is saved. One thing that's coming out, in the next 6 to 8 weeks is single box publishing. So when you publish a box, it only publishes that box and it'll be able to tell you exactly when it was published, when it was saved. So there's going to be more data here as well coming. And then folders, that has been a highly requested feature for as long as I can remember. One thing we want to launch soon is more filters here. Is it on? Is it off? more filters here, so you can easily do that. Most people actually don't even know about these filters. So and they only really know about it. Sometimes they go into it and they do this, and then they come back into the platform like, oh, where's all my stuff? That's really what happens. So yeah, we want to add more filters here as well. On, off, published, not published. All of that is something coming soon as well. All right. I know I'm talking a mile a minute here. I've had too much coffee probably. Feel free to ping me with questions, by the way, or put it in the chat as well. I love that. One big update that we're doing, led by Val actually, is kind of taking away a lot of this Digioh, a lot of the Digioh stuff that we think about as Digioers. We want to kind of change that and make it more marketer friendly. So one big push is that we're potentially going to do in the future is renaming boxes to campaigns. Originally we thought of everything as a box, but now what we're seeing is people are using us for like quiz funnels, landing pages. We're seeing people use us for multi-step pop-ups. And so people are looking at us, evolving us and pushing us in this more of a campaign direction. Hey, I launched this campaign for Black Friday. That's what that is. And so people are talking on this campaign. So we want to use the same verbiage that the customer, so this is not launched yet, but that's stuff we're doing. And one change that we've made recently is we're switching, instead of, it used to be called custom JS apps, and we're renaming this to just extensions. So right now it's called extension apps, and then we're going to switch it all the way to extensions. And the reason we decided that term was because they are an extension to the Digioh functionality. And so I'm going to talk about some of those extensions that we've launched. If you're not familiar with extensions, they are really powerful. And so I'll go through my favorite ones here and which ones you guys should check out. But yeah, we've also organized the extensions as well. It used to be a before list. Now we have like different categories for this. Every extension also comes with a doc. So you could, slide this down and click on doc, and you'll get a really good documentation on what it does and the power of it. Of course, our team can also help you, like which apps are extensions are best for you. And so here are my favorite ones. Now, I think we have like 80 plus extensions, but here are some favorite ones. I'm going to highlight some of the ones that I always use, or that I see customers always using, and then I'll go back into this list. So Shopify cart targeting. So if you're on Shop, now you could do this without Shopify. It takes a little bit of custom code, but if you're on Shopify, it's native. And what I like about this is that you could detect the cart value. So like, hey, it's $75. And that's our free shipping threshold, but maybe it's $74, right? So anything, and you can do a between then filter too. So you could say between 70 and 74 on exit. If they're gonna make if they're not making a purchase, let's show them a free shipping coupon potentially. Get them over the hump to actually make the purchase. And so you could target based on Shopify cart value or total items in the cart is a good one. Exit intent is one of my favorite things, and when you pair it with the cart or with the item value, it's really powerful, because you definitely don't want the people that have added an item to their cart to leave. Those are the ones that are probably most sacred. They came to the site, they didn't just leave. They came to the site, they thought about it, they added an item to their cart. Let's make sure they actually complete the transaction. So that is one thing I highly recommend. We're seeing really good ROI on this one, for especially if it's paid traffic. So you could pair this with, hey, only if it's coming from ad traffic do we want to show something. Or maybe it's coming in from your Instagram traffic that you're drawing paid dollars towards. Here's another one that I think our universal, this is our most used app actually, our universal merge tags. And there's a lot that you could do with universal merge tags app. I keep calling it an app, but it's an extension now. So, and that's why we're transitioning towards extensions. So there's a few highlights here. Let's say you have like a UTM parameter or any parameter that has like a name in it, or a country in it, or a city in it, or some type of personalized data. You can then use that inside the box on their visit. So like, we have these rules with like Klaviyo and Iterable that can grab the data from like Klaviyo and Iterable and personalize it. But you can also do it based on the URL parameters. Like if they're clicking on email and you highlight that URL parameter, like their favorite color or their favorite product, we can reference that in here. The other use case here is like, we have a lot of customers that have, 50% of their spend is actually on influencer marketing. So we can grab like an influencer name off the URL and personalize the entire pop-up based on that. So you can just tell all your influencers, hey, check this out. Like we have a personalized pop-up, personalized coupon code. We have all this personalization for you, all based on the URL. So it's another powerful tip that we're seeing some customers use. Last but not
Rishi,
least,
on that one, Eric, who's here watching today, he and I were just talking about this one and saying, you can put if you do give that kind of custom code in an email, you can then take that same custom code and put it in a banner so that when they hit the site, it's on a banner right there at the top of the page and follows them around the site. They're not clicking back to their email, getting lost, ending up in their inbox, and not actually finishing their checkout.
100%. And on banners, right? I was on a webinar yesterday. Banners sometimes, remember, when someone comes to your site, the banner is the first thing you see. And so, if you are having a banner, a few things. Like, first of all, Digio has a powerful banner tool. So, we have a lot of themes around banners. We can filter based on banners. It takes the top of the bottom of the page. I like it at the top. Now, with banners, you should A/B test them. Like, remember, that's the first thing they're going to see. So definitely A/B test it. If the first thing you're seeing is like a 10% off shipping offer, like, is that the first thing you want? Just think about what is the first thing you want them to see, and then work backwards. Banners are highly underrated in my opinion, and should be used more often for conversion optimization. So if you're not using our banners, definitely check it out. All right.
And Shannon asked me to use the merge tags based on jQuery selector too, like identifying the username if they're logged in and name is displayed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can
Hmm.
definitely do that. Great question, Shannon. Yeah, absolutely, you can do that. Anything on the page we can personalize based on. That's all visible to our JavaScript. Another two apps that I like. One is for a lot of B2B folks, and another one is for our D2C. So one thing we do is prevent common email typos. Let's say you're typing in Gale, but you actually meant to type Gmail. We have an app that could do that. So I think we have like 80 different combinations of what people type in. And we just leverage that. So you can install that app. So like we say, hey, by the way, did you mean, Carl@gmail.com instead of Carl@Gale? This could be interesting to test out or just add. The other one is blocking free email providers. So let's say you have like a form, it's more like a contact us form, or it's like a B2B demo form, or maybe it's like, corporate gifting section where they have to fill out a form, and you just want to block all the Gmail, Yahoo, and Hotmails. You could do that pretty easily here. So you just block all the free email providers. This one, they're both pretty cool, easy to install, kind of work out of the box as well. Some other ones that I'll highlight is internationalization has really taken off. That's probably one of our top 5 apps. So if you have like a multilingual site, we're seeing a lot of this. They want to, they're expanding outside the US. They want to grow their revenue because they believe like, outside the US they can get more revenue. But the complexities of going international are never as easy as it seems. Sometimes you have to offer another site, all this stuff. So one thing, we just had a brand, they have 15 different Shopify sites, and because they're all different languages. And so with our internationalization app, you can actually have one pop-up that's multilingual. So definitely check that one out. Countdown timer is always a nice to have. Did great on Black Friday. Segment, if you're using Segment, we can actually send events to Segment. That's a popular one. US zip code validation, that's another good one if you have a, kind of a contact us form style thing. We have a lot of quizzes. We had a quiz recently. They only sold in the US and only to certain zip codes. So we validate it and we actually do a lookup for if they should send there. All right. So one big update that we made is you can export a ton of data from your accounts. We have exporting reports. So things like box metrics, metadata, metrics per day. So if you want to export, we have a lot of customers that want to export this data, not just the submission data, but all sorts of analytics, and then put it in a Looker or their BI tool. You can do this pretty easily in your account, which is pretty powerful. So definitely check this out and export this. All right, and this is a boring thing that people wanted, and I think so this is one of those amazing boring things that like, I need to get, like, I don't want just the submission data, I want all the data. So definitely check this out. So some of my favorite things that customers have done. First of all, I learn a lot from our customers. I learn from a lot from you, and I appreciate. We see it in the. I look at almost every support ticket still. So we are learning from you guys. You guys are the pros here, and we're just trying to help you guys build faster things. This one has taken off. It's a zero party data pop-up that is full screen. Now, it doesn't have to be full screen. However, full screen does increase conversions for first-time visitors that are not known to your site. So this is Rejuvica, awesome company, highly recommend it. You come to the site, and there's a few things going on here. One, it's taken over the whole screen, which is an increasing conversion rate over a regular static pop-up. Second thing is we made a transparent background here. So you understand that you're on the site and this is not like a full screen takeover. So you can easily close it off and go back to the site. So we made it a whole transparent overlay. Not too much, but you could tell there's a site behind it. The third thing here is that, we're not just saying, boom, get 15% off. We want you to work for it a little bit. If you're giving someone, 15% off on a $100 product, that's $15 that you're giving away. So people, I think a lot of marketers don't think about this enough. They think that every website is now saying first thing you see is like 10% off, 20% off. Rethink that a little bit. If you're going to give them 20 bucks, $15, let's get a little bit of information. So down the line, they're more profitable for you. So what I like about this is that they're telling them a little bit about themselves. Like try to get what are you interested in? Their gender potentially, their birthday. Get something of value right away. So as soon as you click on this, then you get an email. We get the email, and then we get the phone number. And then when we pass this into their ESP, we're also sending this information as well. And then we're also redirecting them to a page, a PDP page that is specifically focused on what they clicked on here. So there's like 6, 7 things going on here. And it's really now the email is 10x more valuable, especially with like all the new AI journey builders and ESPs and SMS builders. This is just going to fuel into that. So you can have way more personalized campaigns just on this one more data point, which is really powerful.
This one data point is also a great data point for building segments for your ad campaigns. So building a segment that then powers your Google and Meta ads. Because if someone is looking for detox and cleanse, and then you deliver them as words and it has images related to that, that's so much more powerful than just a generic branded ad. And so I've seen a lot of customers starting to go in that direction of really thinking about how are these segments that are not only powering my emails, going to be beneficial from an acquisition standpoint too.
That's 100% right. You only need actually 100 clicks to create an audience segment in Google AdWords. So they click on this, you put them in an audience category called detox and cleanse here. The Google Ad Network is powerful. Like the Google Ad Network is on Pinterest, for example. It's on Google Image Search. It's everywhere. It's on YouTube, right? So now everywhere across the web, if they click this, whether they enter their email in on the next step or not, you create an audience based on that one click. You get 100 clicks on it. You're going to be able to segment them like crazy all across the web, as well as your email and SMS. Yeah, great point. We don't have enough customers leveraging that, by the way. So that is my one ask for you guys. Think about your zero party data pop-ups. If you already have a pop-up, think about it as zero party data and leverage that with your ad traffic. One big thing that customers always ask about is how do I increase engagement on my site? And spin to win has been a good one. Spin to win, quizzes, anything gamified. How do I, don't just ask for an email address, give them something engaging. The engagement goes up. We're seeing people put this in their apps. Shout out to TapCart, for example. Great mobile app if you guys aren't using it. And you can click on this, and we're actually embedding these in TapCart as well. So this is another one where we're seeing a lot of usage on spin to win. And we're kind of evolving this too. So we have like a basic version where you can kind of optimize, you can add, you can easily add additional slots here. And then we also have an advanced version. So you can add custom fonts, custom colors. You can even change, like you can add an image in here. So there's a lot that's going on with spin to win. We're seeing a higher engagement. Now you got to think about, is this right for your brand? Should I A/B test this? Those are two things that I would consider. We do see a higher engagement though on it, which is pretty fun. And you can
Also,
change the
you won't
capabilities.
see it right now in your account. Spin to win is something that we're rolling out to accounts on a kind of as needed basis, but you might see it show up in the next week or so. So if you are like looking in your account for it right now, just message us and we'll get it activated in your account. If you want, this is something you want to implement today. Otherwise, you'll see it in the next week or so.
Yeah, good point. It's admin only, but we can add it to your account if you want it. This is exciting, a project. Klaviyo invited us to actually add a few themes into their own library. So now Digioh actually has created a few email themes inside Klaviyo. So definitely check them out. There's a lot of power in this if you're using Digioh and you're using Klaviyo. We're launching a bunch of email themes actually within Klaviyo to strengthen our partnership as well as make things easier during onboarding. So getting things launched faster for the client. If you want to see a theme, we're open to it in Klaviyo as well. And then we also have pre-built flows as well. So like you enter an email, it can go into a Klaviyo flow that triggers a series of emails as well, which is exciting. So we already do this for a lot of clients. They enter their email, we pass all the recommendations. If you're doing a quiz, all the recommendations into Klaviyo, and that way you get a dynamic email of all the recommendations right after you take the quiz. We're also adding a ton of different pipelines. So there's so many different use cases. We always think we like got all the use cases, and then there's someone throws something at us. So we've added a ton of pipelines, and we actually already added just 2 additional ones that are not on this. And the whole idea is that you authenticate Klaviyo, and then you just click on a pipeline and the integration is done. You don't have to think any further than that. Now we do have an advanced mode, so you can add things like UTM parameters, static values, and you can do all that too. But we're trying to make that easier and easier for our customers. So that's another big one. Here's one. If you're not using it, I recommend using it. This is where we can detect if they're already on Klaviyo or iterable. Kind of going back to this theme right here. So let me show you the theme that I love. And a lot of D2C marketers, a lot of marketers, they're just thinking about that first time visitor and how do I get their email address? And so one thing we want our customers to think about is how do we get our existing customers to actually purchase more? And so if they land back on your site, we can detect that, personalize this. Remember, everything we're just using name as a kind of like a placeholder, but it could be anything. It can be any data profile field, any attribute field tied to that email address that's on your site. Hey, we know that, hey, you're a VIP customer. If they're on a VIP list. Hey, we know that you need energy and detox, products. And maybe you show something and you give them something off. The whole idea here is if we have the information, let's get them to purchase more, especially if they're on your site and make them feel special. That's the entire idea. So definitely personalize, personalize, personalize. This is another one that we launched, custom dashboards. So there's like 50 plus reports and charts that we can add. So you can easily do this and add them to your dashboard. And so when you log into your account, you can configure a dashboard right here. And then when you log in, you can actually see that dashboard. So if your team is asking you for the same information over and over again, definitely configure a dashboard, take a screenshot of it, put it in your presentations. If you want a different type of report, some of these are pretty easy to build out. And if you don't see it in that view, let us know. Now I don't have GA authenticated. It does require GA to be authenticated as well. And then you can see our dashboard right there. I wanna just talk about 2 more things. I'm open to Q&A as well. But we just launched a quiz funnel playbook. It's awesome. It talks about all the strategies that we use for customers to increase conversions, what has worked, what hasn't. Definitely I'll definitely send you guys if you guys want it. It's pretty sweet. The biggest
Go
thing
down
that we're
to,
seeing, okay,
it's on slide 37. Go down there.
on slide 37,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
And then we also put it in here for the playbook. It's awesome. One of the big things we talk about is if you do have a quiz, and we're starting to call them quiz funnels. We're seeing a lot of people that throw ads at our quiz funnel and are improving conversions as well. So they have like an ad like, hey, see if you're right for our product, and they click on an ad and then they go to our quiz funnel landing page, which is pretty sweet. We're seeing that when they do this and they promote it, that's where they see the highest increase in conversions. So we wrote up a document on like what are the 6 ways to promote your quiz funnel. One is in a banner. So banners, banners, banners. I think that's great. They work really well. That's the first impression you're making. And you could even do something like take our quiz and get 15% off and get free shipping. Don't just say free shipping. Let's like talk about how we're going to get to know them. We can personalize the homepage unit as well. Another one is put it in your nav as well. Sometimes, especially for a first-time visitor, they're getting a little lost. I want to know what I need. That could be a great way. And maybe take the quiz is not the right call to action for you, but it could be product finder or see what you need. And then we're seeing a different version of this where we have a theme now where if we recognize they're a first-time visitor, let me find that theme. This one's pretty cool. First-time visitor on your homepage. This could be a sidebar that comes in from the side. It says, hey, here's our top sellers. Also, the last call to action could be take our quiz, find the perfect product for you. So definitely leverage this as well. If you're seeing a lot of drop off on your homepage. Another core one is if the bag is empty, embed a CTA, right? They're obviously there. Maybe they added something, they removed something, and they looking at the shopping bag. Let's give them an idea of how to find and buy more stuff and find the perfect thing for them. Anyone that comes to your site should be a buyer. And so the goal is how do we get that buyer to buy in the quickest way possible and find them exactly what they need? And that's where kind of the quiz can come in. So we talk a lot about this in the playbook. I know we're over time. Everyone's time is really valuable here. I did want to just offer some QA time. I'm always around for QA, by the way, so feel free to ping me anytime, even in one-on-one calls.
Yeah, we can hang out for a few minutes for anyone who wants to stay and ask questions. Thank you all for being here. That core six placements that Rishi was going through is in that playbook. Marissa, thank you for linking that in the chat. You can go grab it. It's totally free. There's so much more than the core six in there too. Would love your thoughts on the playbook too, especially all of you Power Digio users. What is useful? What's missing? Please tell us. One of my favorite things about being a Digio is that we really truly do build for our customers. So we build the product for our customers. We build resources like this playbook for our customers. Tell us what you need so we can build it. That's my personal call to action for you. Yeah, thanks for being here, Eric.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Andrew, is there anything on the roadmap for page transitions or object animations, Rishi?
So you can add in animations through GIF images already. I think you're talking about more than that though. Roadmap for page transitions. So we have Andrew, we have a way to right when we have a spinner that you could already add. If you're using a quiz funnel, we have a spinner that you can add at the beginning of the quiz, and then we have it at the end as well. So I guess I would love to know kind of what more you want for page transitions. That'd be good to know.
Yeah, and object animations, you can definitely, yeah, to Rishi's point, add those kind of GIF images for animations within a quiz. But maybe, do you mean like something that would bounce in, or when you click on it, does that, what's that called? Radial wave thing. Specifically looking for smoother page transitions, like fade in and
Fade
out
in and fade
pages.
out. That'd be a good one. No, it's not on the roadmap. But I'll talk about it. We actually have a dev meeting right after this, so I'll talk about that
Yep.
one.
Yeah.
We actually have those animations for pop-ups. You can do fade in, fade outs. So we have all sorts of animations around how a pop-up shows up, but not within pages. So that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah. And then bounce animations for things like buttons and radios and things like that. That's cool.
That would be cool. Yeah. Thank you, Andrew. Anything else? Any other questions?
Like Rishi
This was
said, we are all
helpful.
always here for questions, and support is always at your fingertips, support@digio.com. You can feel free to find me or Rishi and message us. We're all here for all of you. So yeah, really appreciate you being here. And for anyone who catches the recording, thank you for watching. Same to all of you, and we'll see you next time.
Happy holidays. Thank you guys.
Bye.